Hello, football fans. This is your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. So, Jalen Hurts was in his press conference recently, and he indicated that he was getting a lot of game, a lot of pointers from the likes of the Manning family, most notably Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. Now, the last person I want him to pick up game from is Eli Manning. Granted, Eli Manning is a winner. He won 2 Super Bowl rings, and you don't do that by accident. You can't just fall into that. No matter how much grief we give Eli, you can't just fall into 2 Super Bowls, especially when you're beating the GOAT and Tom Brady. But nonetheless, Jalen Hurts is getting a lot of game, apparently from the likes of Peyton Manning. And Peyton Manning is without a doubt one of the smartest minds at quarterback to ever play this game. One of the smartest minds ever to play this game. And I don't think that's bad company to be getting pointers from. You think about Peyton Manning's history, he's one of the best at pre-snap. He's one of the best at knowing his playbook front to back, from page to page, left to right, side to side. He's one of those guys that knows exactly where everyone is supposed to be at any given moment on that field, and he gets a lot of respect for that. If you guys are playing Madden at any point, y'all know whenever you used to play the Colts, Peyton Manning would use that entire play clock. He will look it all the way down to maybe like the third or maybe the third or the second or even the last second, just before he hikes. So Peyton Manning rather. He's a legend in this game, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and he did it on 2 different teams. And again, you don't fall into that by accident either. You have at the end of the day, you have to be an amazing football mind, and also you have to have a great supporting cast to be successful in this NFL. But Jalen Hurts, great company to be learning the game from, great company to actually be getting nuanced game from. But on top of that, you think about how much Jalen Hurts has grown from the beginning of the season when things weren't really looking too bright for us. His completion percentage was barely scratching 60% at times, and it just seemed as though him and Nick Sirianni couldn't really get on the same page. It just seemed like the offense was running through him entirely, and there was no balance. I felt as though the team or the coaching staff was trying to win games strictly with his arm, trying to turn him into something he's not, instead of really relying on that man's natural born gifts and his intellect, and allowing everything he brings to the table to use it to your advantage. Excuse me. So you think about Jalen Hurts being able to bounce off of the running game, and you think about him just improving as a passer these past few weeks, because ultimately he's not been asked to do that much. But I also think that in order for him to come along properly, in order for him to pick up good habits and not form bad ones, you have to bring him along properly, and that's with the running game. You think about that game against the Las Vegas Raiders. He only completed 52% of his passes. Then the Tampa game, 46% of his passes, his worst game of the season. Then the Carolina game, only 59% of his passes. Kansas City game, he completed 66% of his passes. He actually played a very good game, in my opinion, but the defense couldn't really stop anything. And then the Dallas game, that was a really rough game as well, but he completed 64% of his passes. And then the San Fran game, only 52% of his passes. And then in week 1, the debut game, he completed 77% of his passes. So that debut game is what we saw Jalen Hurts at his sharpest. But it's kind of hard to really put too much stock into game 1, knowing you only played the Atlanta Falcons. I feel like the best way to judge Jalen Hurts is based on the trends, and based off the trends, especially in the past 3 weeks, you think about the Detroit game, you think about the Los Angeles Chargers game, and the Denver game that we just finished. You think about the trends, and he is actually starting to show some stability in his completion percentage. In Detroit, completed 64% of his passes. At home against the Chargers, completed 64% of his passes again, and then against the Denver Broncos, it jumped up to 69% of his passes, which is actually his second best completion percentage of the season. So Jalen Hurts is at his best when the game is not just going through him, but also going through the running game. We've been running a lot, and our team has accumulated over 170 yards through 3 weeks in a row on the ground, and that's not by accident either. This offensive line is doing amazing things, and Nick Sirianni is actually calling a pretty good game these past 3 weeks. Granted, we lost to the Chargers, but I feel like Nick Sirianni called a hell of a game. That game was more so lost on the defensive side of the ball. But again, Jalen Hurts has been doing exactly what he needs to do to win these games. I don't feel like he's been playing outside of himself. I don't feel like he's been, doing too much. And just on top of that, I feel like Jalen Hurts is just looking more comfortable. I feel like he looks more natural in this offense now because we have a running game and we're allowing it to flow through him. You think about everything Jalen Hurts brings to the table with his athleticism. The defenses are literally left guessing every single time, and the coaching staff is using the mystique of Jalen Hurts' athleticism to keep defenses off balance. So it's going to be really exciting to see if Jalen Hurts can carry this over to the New Orleans game. This is a very big game coming up. It's a home game for us. We have to get our first home game of the season. We're also going to be going against injury-riddled New Orleans Saints team. They're missing their star wide receiver and their starting quarterback in Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas, respectively. We're going to be going up against Trevor Siemian, who I don't have too much faith in. So it's going to be important for Jonathan Gannon to get some pressure on that guy to make sure that we can force turnovers, force him to make mistakes, and then at that point, it's going to leave so much more room for the offense to do their thing and be successful. You guys, Jalen Hurts, sure, we would want him to be a little further on in his development, but we have to acknowledge the simple fact that Jalen Hurts has only started about 14 games in his NFL career. And that's still very primitive. That's still very, very young. And he still needs a lot of nurturing. He still shows little signs of immaturity, not mentally or emotionally, but when things sort of go awry, he kind of gets a little too eager and he forces a pass, like the pass that he forced to Devontae Smith, I believe, and it was an interception. But so many things happened on that play which led to that interception, like Kenny Gainwell not picking up the block. On top of that, the ball got tipped from the blitzer. So Jalen Hurts is making great progress, in my opinion. Like I said, it's important to follow the trends. And the trend these past few weeks is the fact that we are relying heavily on the run game and we are allowing the run to open things up for the passing game. We're doing a lot of play action. We're starting to get things done in I formation as well. We're not just relying on RPOs or the shotgun. We're starting to mix things up, and the play sequences are even getting better as well. And that just shows Nick Sirianni is maturing as a head coach. So I'm really excited to see actually how we play against the New Orleans Saints. Right now, Jalen Hurts owns the New Orleans Saints. Last time he played them in his debut, he took their head off. And at the time, they were the best defense in the NFL. And I don't think that's the case right now. They have a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. But I think we match up pretty well with the New Orleans Saints. I think we can actually win this game if we continue to do what we've been doing, and that's punching other teams in the mouth. And it's straight like that. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II, Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry, and fly Eagles fly.